My best WifeIt was a crisp autumn evening in 2010 when I first saw her. The golden leaves swirled around the park, and there she was, sitting on a bench, engrossed in a book, her glasses slipping slightly down her nose. She looked like a painting, serene, unaware of the world around her, and yet somehow the center of it. I don't believe in love at first sight, but something about her made my heart pause, as if it knew this moment was the start of something extraordinary. That was the day I met Aisha, the woman who would become my best wife, my partner, my home. I was a nervous wreck when I approached her. I'm not the smoothest talker, and my attempt at a casual, nice book came out more like a squeak. She looked up, her brown eyes twinkling with amusement, and instead of brushing me off, she smiled and said, "It's better than nice. It's life-changing. Want to hear about it?" That was Aisha, warm, open, and always ready to share a piece of her world with someone new. We talked for hours that day, about books, dreams, and the little quirks that make life beautiful. By the time the sun dipped below the horizon, I knew I wanted her in my life forever. Our courtship wasn't a fairy tale in the traditional sense. There were no grand gestures or cinematic proposals. Instead, it was a slow, steady build of trust, laughter, and shared moments. Aisha had this way of making the ordinary feel magical. A rainy day stuck indoors became an adventure as we cooked terrible pancakes and laughed until our sides hurt. A long drive to nowhere turned into a concert of our favorite songs, sung off-key, with the windows down. She had a knack for finding joy in the smallest things, a stray cat we'd feed, a sunset we'd chase, or the way she'd tuck a blanket around me when I fell asleep on the couch. We got married in 2013 in a small ceremony surrounded by family and friends. Aisha wore a simple white dress, her hair adorned with a single flower, and she looked more beautiful than any movie star. I remember standing at the altar, my hands trembling as I held hers, promising to love her through every storm and sunrise. She squeezed my hand and whispered, "We've got this," and in that moment, I believed we could conquer anything. Life with Aisha was never dull. She was my best friend, my confidante, and my greatest adventure. But what made her my best wife wasn't just the laughter or the love, it was her strength. In 2016, I lost my job unexpectedly. The weight of failure crushed me, and I spiraled into self-doubt. Aisha didn't let me drown. She'd wake up early to make me coffee, sit with me as I rewrote my resume for the 100th time, and remind me of my worth when I couldn't see it myself. "You're more than a job," she'd say, her voice steady and sure. "You're my partner, and we'll figure this out together." And we did. She took on extra freelance work, never once complaining, and when I landed a new job, she celebrated like it was her own victory. Then came the harder years. In 2019, Aisha was diagnosed with a chronic illness that turned our world upside down. The woman who once danced through life now struggled to get out of bed some days. I watched her fight, not just the pain but the frustration of losing pieces of the independence she cherished. Yet, even in her weakest moments, she was stronger than anyone I knew. She'd crack jokes to make the doctors laugh, hold my hand during endless hospital visits, and remind me to live, not just survive. "We're still us," she'd say, her smile a beacon in the dark. "This is just a chapter, not the whole story." Through it all, Aisha taught me what love really means. It's not just the butterflies or the grand gestures. It's showing up, day after day, even when life is messy. It's the quiet moments, like when she'd leave sticky notes with silly doodles on my lunch bag, or the way she'd listen to my rants about a bad day without judgment. It's the way she made our home a sanctuary, filled with plants she lovingly tended.